welcome back to Belmont Bunch. Tonight, the Islanders played a completely disinterested back end of a back-to-back, something that they have been very good at under Barry Trotz. Tonight, they looked completely lifeless. So, Toronto gets a 3-1 win. They were the more interested team in winning this game. They get a shorthanded goal to kick it off. The Islanders, playing with fire right out of the gate, took two bad penalties. The Bow one, I know whatever Toronto player was holding a stick, you can't turn around and do a very obvious slash. That's going to get caught. Holding the stick doesn't always get caught, but slashing does. Well, that's not true, but slashing is a little bit more obvious, especially when you take a whack like that. So the Islanders do have two very good penalty kills to kick off the game. So I thought maybe they could build some energy off of that. And no, actually, it's the Islanders' power play which killed us. They give up a shorthanded goal. They looked really bad. Could not connect a pass. And that's not even just true of the power play. That was true of just the Islanders forwards, everyone tonight. Really, really struggling to connect a pass, to get any zone time until late in the game when Toronto was able to just sit back because they knew they had it. Barzal tonight looked very lonely on that top line. Not really any help. He didn't play well either. But not, last night I felt that Wahlstrom's benching was fair for that third period, or at least understandable. And I think tonight we saw why, against a good team when the Islanders need goals, and I know that they don't know that going into the game. I think you could probably reasonably assume that you're going to get a better fight from Toronto and need goals against Toronto. And so I'm not a big fan of that decision. So I hope that, the lack of shooting from the Islanders until the third period tonight, and even then in the third, very low percentage shots. I very much hope, and the power play looking terrible, that Oliver Wahlstrom gets back into the lineup. I didn't notice too much from Kiefer Bellows tonight, who came in for him. And Bellows on the power play didn't really do much. The Islanders not really putting pucks on net tonight. A lot of too many passes, and it would always be, too far behind the guy that they're trying to reach. So anyway, but we'll get back to, the order of operations here. PEMDAS. Marner gets his shorthanded. It was kind of a accidental Kucherov, it looked like, and not great from Varley. Dobson got back to fight as he could on the breakaway and gave Varley a chance, I think, and Varley just whiffs, and it's 1-0 there. The Islanders get one very similarly to one of the goals from last night. It was the Brock Nelson first goal to make it 3-0, I believe, where they just kind of lift it out to center and rely on what seems to be very skippy ice at UBS Arena. I see that from, both teams struggling sometimes to pass in the neutral zone, it seems like. But the Islanders get the benefit here where the puck has some backspin, bounces back to Zach Parise, who takes it in, goes to the backhand, and nice goal for Parise. Very important for the Islanders to start getting some depth scoring, especially if they're not going to play Oliver Wahlstrom. And Parise gets it tied up. You look like you have a chance, and then at the very end of the period, it looks like there's 5 seconds left. It's just coming back into our zone, and Dobson just kind of switched off, just took a swing at the puck, missed, then got stuck along the boards, and Pierre Engvall ends up with it. My TV just turned on. Pierre Engvall comes up with it. Andy Green can't get a block on it, goes to the backhand. This really, 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 really desperately needs to be stopped by Semyon Varlamov, who was not very sharp tonight. And, I think it's fair maybe to say that going forward, I would go with Varley against the worst team and Sorokin against the better team. I know there's the idea that you want to secure the 2 points for sure with your better goalie, who I think at this point is very clearly Sorokin. But I don't know. I think Varley could have sleepwalked to winning that game last night, and that based off of the first time the Islanders played Arizona, I think you could have made a reasonable assumption going into that game. But maybe that's something, it's early, it's not early in the season anymore, but something that Barry can adjust with, maybe. We'll see. I'm sure it always depends, on the numbers against certain opponents as well. But, so, 2-1, very crushing goal to give up there. The Islanders play a terrible, terrible, terrible second period. Power play continues to be just terrible. Everybody was a step off tonight. Every time, there was a pass, it just wouldn't find its recipient, or the guy was going off for a change right when the guy released the pass. It was just everybody out of sync. The fourth line really bringing some of the, pretty much the only energy tonight with a few big hits. Martin a couple of times on Tavares, and that was pretty much it there. And in the third period, also in the second, Morgan Riley gets it to 3-1, and you kind of know it's over from there because the Islanders just aren't generating any offense. And that Riley goal, I saw some people saying, they want to see Varley get over a little bit quicker. I don't think that's the main culprit of that goal, but I guess I could see your point. So at that point, the Isles, like I said, they just threw pucks at the net, but not. I don't know. They just kept going low on Mrazek and never were able to get anything up high after the Parise goal. And so that feels like a missed opportunity. But the way the Islanders were skating, they weren't even putting themselves in the position to get good shots off because the Leafs were doing a good job of keeping it to the outside when the Islanders were down 2. And the Islanders really didn't do a good job of penetrating the defense, doing anything in terms of breaking them down and forcing them to go from wing to wing and opening up that defense a little bit. Didn't do that. Good on the Leafs for being very disciplined tonight when it came to that. And a pretty good defensive game from the Leafs. It's 50-50, good defensive from them, and very, very lethargic from the Islanders forwards. Adam Pelech, I thought played pretty well. One of the only guys, had a couple of times where he dispossessed guys that looked like they could go in and score. At the very end, it's frustrating to see Chara out there when they need 2 goals. I get, former hardest shot award winner or whatever, but we really miss Ryan Pulock. And Islanders just listless tonight. I'm going to give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, being a second game in 2 nights, but not too much because last night was not a difficult game, and Arizona kind of stopped playing in the third period. There were points in that third period where both teams looked like they wanted off the ice. So, not much of an excuse there for looking that tired. So maybe just credit the Leafs with playing a good game and the Islanders with playing a bad game. So that's it from Belmont Bunch. The quest for the Islanders to beat a good team continues, and that is kind of the main thing that's kept me off of being excited even during this winning stretch. So that's it from Belmont Bunch. Link in the description for the audio version of this. Spotify, Apple, the thing. And that's it. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.